Today we are reading On Pomegranate Juice. Warning: pomegranate juice lovers might experience discomfort while reading this. Please proceed carefully. This collectible can be found starting from the Hall of Strife space anchor in blood-bathed battlefront Castrum Krymnos. It is located at the top of the steps to the Hall of Strife. Forward: pomegranate juice originated from Castrum Krymnos. It was not just a beverage, but a cultural symbol as well. This paper will attempt to examine the origin and the evolution of this tradition and create a comprehensive record for later generations. Section 1: Historical Origin. Ancient Indiscretion. According to the Chronicles of War, located in the archives in the Council of Elders in Castrum Krymnos during the early days of Era Bellica, followers of Nicodor had the unfortunate practice of drinking their enemies' blood. At the time, Krymnoans believed that drinking the blood of powerful enemies would grant them the valiance of the deceased. There was no evidence, but it was a popular tradition in the army. The Enigma of Fegusa. Around year 2600 of the Light Calendar, a critical event changed the tradition. A conflict broke out between Castrum Krymnos and the seaside states, and Nicodor traveled with their troops to conquer 3 cities in succession. After the war, Nicodor gave the cruel request for the defeated to offer the blood of their residents, or they would suffer from divine punishment. According to the story of the tide, Fegusa, the ocean titan, appeared to save the poor residents. They ordered their followers to drink pomegranate juice instead, and imbibed their powers in the juice. Nicodor was unable to tell the difference between pomegranate juice and blood, and even praised the beverage for its flavor. Section 2: Change. Replacement Proposal. Interestingly, this sparked an intense debate in the Council of Elders. The conservative faction believed that giving up blood consumption was a sign of weakness, whereas the progressive faction claimed that Nicodor's approval of pomegranate juice carried great significance. Ultimately, General Crassus left a statement that signified the change. We all know the wisdom of Nicodor and Fegusa. Pomegranates have the same color as blood and taste like blood, so isn't its juice fitting for a warrior? Consuming large quantities of pomegranate juice before a battle would demonstrate our valiance and carry on Nicodor's legacy. Is this not a perfect solution? Established as law in the year 2650 of the Light Calendar, the Council of Elders formally declared that pomegranate juice would replace blood, and created relevant rituals and rules. This signified a critical change in the beverage culture of Castrum Krymnos. Section 3: Recipe Evolution. Traditional recipe. The recipe was extremely simple during its infancy. Freshly squeezed pomegranate juice, a pinch of salt, an iron vessel for storage for the rusty flavor. Military recipe. The empowered version popular in the military: freshly squeezed pomegranate juice, minced raw ginger, sea salt, Dendrobium catenatum. This version allegedly enhanced stamina and was often consumed before marching. Ritual recipe. To be used during important rituals, wild pomegranate must be picked from a battlefield. Honey represents Fegusa's gift. An iron vessel for soaking, blessings from a priest. Note: in modern times, this recipe is used during important ceremonies such as the Rite of the Shield. Modern controversy. During recent years, a group led by a famous warrior created a recipe by adding goat's milk and cheese, giving the beverage a light pink hue. The conservatives of the Council of Elders expressed their discontent at this change. However, research showed that dairy was included in Fegusa's original recipe, so maybe the new recipe was actually closer to the beverage's original form. Section 4: Ritual Significance. Military. Number 1. Before an expedition, the army consumes the beverage together to show solidarity. Number 2. Upon a triumphant return, generals drink first and then their subordinates drink together afterward. Number 3. At the funerals for the deceased, pomegranate juice is sprinkled on shields to symbolize the return of these soldiers. Civilian. Number 1. Coming of age ceremony. Youths drink pomegranate juice for the first time. Number 2. Rite of the Shield. Parents drink with their children when the latter depart. Number 3. Alliance ceremony. The entities creating the alliance drink from the same cup. Section 5: Revelation. The evolution of the tradition symbolizes the advancement of the Castrum Krymnos civilization. The growth of a people can be seen in the change from barbaric blood rituals to elegant ceremonies. Bagusa imparted the wisdom that change did not necessarily mean leaving the tradition behind, and that it could be seen as a more sophisticated way of passing on the tradition. What must be noted here, however, is that the key to pomegranate juice replacing blood lies in the fact that the core concept of the warrior culture was preserved, the valiance that transcends even death, and that is why Castrum Krymnos still stands tall today. Conclusion. May the warriors who drink the pomegranate juice forever remember the history and the glory contained within. As remarked by an ancient sage, pomegranate juice is not blood, but it carries a deeper significance than blood. Afterward, a special thanks to the Archives of Castrum Krymnos and the Council of Elders for supporting the research.